Greetings gamers, welcome to part number 19 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 10 Radiant Dawn. And in today's episode, I'm in the farming town of Oma, off of the capital of Melior somewhere, and going to be meeting a couple of new units.
Morning, Jacob.
Look at you, always sowing your seeds. It's looking like it'll be a fine crop this year, a real dandy.
Heck, I just worked the fields. It's the rich soil beneath me boots, and the fine sun over my head what does the hard stuff.
Brom.
Well, if it isn't Nephenee, what's the story with the armor? Haven't you heard the war's over?
You'll be needing armor too. A revolution's brewing. Better suit up and make it snappy.
Revolution?
Oh yeah, nobody tells us old geezers much, but I hear talk about some young hotheads over yonder. They're jawing about being fed up with the Queen, and how they want change.
I don't get it. Her Majesty is a fine, fine lady. Even if she is a tad young to be passing laws instead of having fun, I guess I'll go have a look for myself.
We are the victors. It was Crimean blood and sweat that defeated Ashnard, and what do we have to show for it? We do not rule Crimea. Our towns have been destroyed. We need coin to ease our suffering. Who's to blame?
The Queen.
We've been violated. Day and around us are families, friends, and homes. We cannot reconcile with monsters, and now our hated enemy is rebuilding to threaten us again. Will we stand by and accept this?
No, we will not.
To arms, I say. We are not afraid. We shall fight for the prosperity of our fatherland, as did Ike the Patriot.
Oh, let me tell you, it's been a while. This armor feels like a ton of bricks.
Brom, didn't you say something about using axes these days, not spears?
Yeah, I suppose I did. What, you went and brought armor and weapons?
Here, take this axe. And hold on to it good, you hear? All right, let's go.
Hey now, what's going on?
Hey, look, it's Nephenee. She even brought her own weapon. So you're gonna join the revolution?
Together, we can make a difference, and together, we have the power to dethrone the Queen.
What are you all thinking? You don't know the first thing about Queen Alencia.
Maybe this is all some big mistake. Our Queen is a splendid gal. Ain't nobody out there with a kinder heart. We should know as well as anyone. Heck, we fought beside her.
You fought with the Queen, eh? Huh, I see. Brothers, do not be deceived. These two are the Queen's agents, and they are undoubtedly spying on us.
Listen, fella, you're talking nonsense. Queen Alencia wouldn't dream of using spies like that.
Do not be deceived, my people. If they go to the Royal Knights, they will return bearing torches, burning homes, and taking prisoners. We must silence these spies.
Listen up, you blockheads. I guess you forgot about the war. After fighting for years, we finally have peace, and now you want to fight again?
Ain't no good, Brom. These folks got their blood a-pumping. Ain't got a lick of sense left in them.
Horse feathers. Reckon you're right. Listen up, Nephenee. Let's try not to kill too many of these dang fools.
Quite an interesting chapter. So this is a defeat boss chapter. It's kind of relatively easy to do if you don't want any of the items in any of these houses. I'm halfway tempted to do such. I am very tempted to just go up and fight the boss alone. Just these two and just move on. The problem is if you do that, you miss out on a recruitable unit as well as a lot of interesting and good stuff. So I'm not too sure I want to necessarily do that, all things said. Alright, so Nephenee can go... I don't remember what gives what in each house. Alright, Brom, take you out. Got an herb. I'm going to try to make sure that one of these guys has a javelin. I'm going to have to attack him with Nephenee, even though she doesn't KO him. Speaking of which, I have 2 brand new units, and both of them are interesting ones. Brom is an axe general, and the only one you obtain in this game. So if you like axes and you want a double S rank axe general, well, you've got one, and he's right here. And if you don't like him, well, you're stuck with him. 80% HP, 40% strength, 5% magic, 40% skill, 30% speed, 70% luck, 60% defense, and 25% resistance. Somebody forgot to tell poor old Brom here that this is Radiant Dawn, and resistance is more important than defense. So he's probably going to lag behind in that a little bit, especially due to the fact that he actually has a pretty poor speed growth, only 30%. I mean, it's not terrible, considering that's actually quite a significant buff to most armor knights in the series, but it's not really that great. Brom has an E rank in swords and a C rank in axes. The C rank in axes means he has access to a lot of different kinds of his own type of weapon. The swords I would just kind of not pay attention to. There is nothing he's ever going to do with swords meaningful. And he also comes with a personal skill. Disarm can cause an enemy unit to drop equipped items or weapons. So there are some cheesy strategies you can use with this, especially with your thieves. Someone like Soth would love this exactly, or at least someone who would support Soth and attack somebody for Soth. You do want a lot of skill to use it. The more skill, the merrier, because it is a skill percentage proc rate, I believe. It's either skill percentage or skill divided by 2. If it's skill divided by 2, you're not getting this very often. But the cool thing about it is unequipped weapons on the enemies, as long as they do not have a lock on them, can be stolen. And that opens up some doors for some good old acquiring, let's just say that. Now, then we have Nephenee. Now, Nephenee is an extremely fun unit. She is a halberdier, and the first you get in this game, as in pre-promoted. I did have Aaron, I'm not foolish. She has some pretty great bases. Her strength is kind of lacking, and you would want her to be a little bit bulkier for this point in the game, but it's okay, because she also has pretty good growth. 45% HP, 35% strength, 15% magic, 70% skill, 65% speed, 40% luck, 35% defense, and 45% resistance. Somebody told her she got the memo. Resistance is important. You want to keep an eye on that. With a B rank in lances, she is a lot more weapon focused than Brom. She has a whole rank higher than he does. This isn't that noticeable because like the really good lance weapons are a rank higher, and the ones that she could already use, she's well enough, far and away above being able to use them, right? I do believe killer weapons are B rank in this game, however. Now she comes with Wrath, which can raise the critical hit percentage by 50 when the unit has less than 30% of his HP left. 5% extra crit, which is a halberdier thing. Now I said in my Path of Radiance playthrough at some point that halberdiers in that game got a 5% crit bonus. That's actually not true. They don't get a crit bonus in that game, which I think is kind of odd. And of course she comes with the good old shove. So with that being said, I think I'm going to attack you. And that is my turn. Ooh. Yeah, I have to heal. Yeah, this chapter is kind of really tricky. I actually think who I was supposed to send down south was Nephenee. I'm halfway tempted to restart this chapter because I'm almost 100% certain that who you want to stay up and to the left dealing with these houses and these guys is actually Brom, not Nephenee. Unfortunate. No, he doesn't drop that javelin. Yeah, this is not very efficient. And oh man. In fact, it's so much not efficient that I'm going to have to restart this. I know I haven't lost any units, and I could salvage this. It's not like I'm wasting a lot of time here, but I think I'm going to restart. I will be right back. Well, this is already much better, I will say that. It's not great, but it will go much better this way. Perfect. Now I can take Nephenee down. I believe the house to the bottom left holds a javelin, so I definitely want that as soon as possible. And of course, I'm going to use a vulnerary here. Makes the most sense. The bow user needs to go. And then I need to start gathering these two houses up. Yeah, so Brom and Nephenee, I actually really like this chapter because it's got like an interesting dichotomy of you being stuck with two less than efficient units. Well, she has to hit both of these hits, or she's a goner. Alright, I'm gonna get this house first.
What? People are fighting outside? That doesn't make any sense. If anyone were to get hurt, we've got to do something. Oh, I hope this is alright.
Got an Ashira icon.
Sounds like the whole village is in an uproar. More men fussing over nothing, I'm sure. Bigger fools were never made. Lucky me. Time to find one ripe for the picking, get his goods, and be on my way. Be home soon, Mom.
Alright. And then gather up this house. Yeah, some strange reason she decides to attack this priest almost every time. Not too familiar as to why the AI would decide such a thing.
Hello? What? Do you need something? Hey, y'all best, you should be careful hanging around here like that. I reckon you should clear out of here while you still are in one piece. Aw, that's so sweet of you. What's your name? Nephenee. Nephenee, what a cute name. I'm Heather, pleased to meet you. Pleasure's all mine, so it's Heather, huh? You gonna get out of here, then? Well, it looks to me like you have an uphill battle to fight. I bet I can help out. But you... Don't worry about it. I'm the type that likes to help nice country girls like you. Like me? That's right. Don't worry about it. Tee, this is turning out to be a great day. Yeah.
Alright, so... gonna heal up. And then also talk about my new unit, Heather. She's a rogue, and one of only two. You only get a second rogue. And if you notice her caps, they are far and away less than Soth's.
I appreciate that little touch of understanding that intelligent systems definitely had in the past rather than they do now, especially in areas like strength and defense, so on and so forth. Now, Heather has a 40% HP growth, 25% abysmal strength, 20% magic, 50% skill, 70% speed, 75% luck, 30% defense, and 40% resistance. There is one and only one thing that I can think of that this girl is supposed to do, and that is to steal items for you. During the times at which you have her, because you do not have another thief in any way, shape, or form. In Party 2 and Party 3, you cannot get a thief. Soth obviously is with the other. Or Party 3, you do not get a thief, other than, i.e. Heather. So you have to make do with her. Now, she comes with a pass, grants this unit the ability to pass through enemy-occupied spaces, obviously steal and shove. Having pass as a personal skill on a rogue makes so much sense. It's incredible. And of course, I'm going to go start stealing, or, well, visiting these villages.
What? People are fighting outside? That doesn't make any sense. If anyone were to get hurt... Wait, you should take this. It's a kind of medicine we make. Oh, I hope this is all right.
I'm supposing those two are related.
There was a stranger in here earlier. He left his axe. Probably meant to use it on the queen. You know, I came to this village for some peace and quiet. Isn't there something you can do? Heck with it. Just take this thing. I'm fed up with war.
Perfect. I remember now exactly why I made these previous decisions. I'm going to visit here.
You ever heard of Miss Khalil? She teaches magic. You know what? I told her she was pretty and she gave me one of these. People who can't use magic can use this. And then, well, they'll be able to use magic or something like that. Here, you take this one.
An Inspector card. It is the upgrade to the... No, this is... Oh, I thought it was the upgrade to the Reaper card. No, the Reaper card is the upgrade to this, which actually kind of strange, to say the least. Heather is the only person in this party who could technically use it. Technically. Alright, so Steel Axe on Brom. And he disarmed, that's nice. So he suffered no counter. That's one of the glorious things about disarm if you hit with it first, is on the enemies that do have weapons, so i.e. non-legus, you don't have to deal with a counterattack. Yep, and that guy has a coin. I halfway want to steal that. And so I pretty much only use Heather for her thief utility when I have her, and then ditch her pretty quick because she's not all that great or useful. But while you have her, and while you need things stolen, she is great. Okay. So, hilariously, I could actually get a KO here with Heather. I don't really care if she does, necessarily, but I'm just doing this so that Nephenee can grab this house.
There was this bizarre man who just came through here. He was talking about a revolution and stuff, left this. I'm telling you, I've had a belly full of this war business. I don't want this anywhere near me. Toss it, sell it, I don't care what you do with it. Just get it out of my house, it's all yours.
And... I think this is fine. I'm going to go ahead and use an herb on Brom.
Perfect. One shot. Nice. Antitoxin. It's a nice grab, I will say. Yeah, doing a whopping 5 damage a hit. Not exactly what I'm looking for. But I will gladly smite you. So I calculated it and I thought, well, there's a couple of really good things that I like stealing. Otherwise, I would have just said to heck with Heather, because it's not like she's going to ever be a competitively good unit. Nor is she going to ever be on any of my parties ever as a combative unit. There are multiple reasons why that is, and the most obvious is that Soth is a main character in this game, and you kind of are somewhat stuck with him. Steel Great Lance. Let's see, is there anything else that can be stolen? No, but if well, I can't really disarm him. But I could disarm one of these guys and steal. She can take... She cannot take a Steel Great Lance, but she can take a Javelin. She could also take a Steel Axe and a Steel Sword. That would be cool. Yeah, that guy is obviously going to keep hounding Nephenee, but that's okay. I need to move forward. And yes, poison is something that heals over time in this game, so it's even less consequential. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a herb on Brom sounds like a great idea. Wow, nice miss. Nice miss, bud. Wrath and crit. I appreciate that. $18. That's actually kind of perfect. So I will still be in Wrath. Yeah, I don't necessarily want to do that.
Ah, survivors of the war, you would be better off dead and forgotten. You can't stop the Duke.
Duke?
Yes, our master, Lord Ludwig, Duke of Felleray, will rule over Crimea. When our plan is complete, the Queen will be erased from history. Now then, I believe it's time for you to die.
Right.
Nice. Very nice. And, no, Brom is not healed. And, of course, I'm going to use a Vulnerary here. So, the best strategy for certain in this chapter is definitely dealing with Yeardley here by Wrath crits. So, this is pretty much what you need to do in order to take him out pretty quick.
No, my duty is incomplete. Lord Ludwig, please forgive me.
Alright, Nephenee, first level up. Great. That was beautiful.
You bumpkins, just stay out of it.
It hurts so bad. Look, my leg. My leg.
Murderer, you're a murderer.
But
Yeah, that's right. Nephenee and me, we been to war. When y'all were hiding in cellars and attics, we were toe-to-toe with Dan. And look at us now. Stop it. Please, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You got your head on straight now? You youngsters get so riled up. Let me at 'em and bring 'em on. Huh. You know spit about war. Nephenee, let's gear up and head out to the royal palace. Her Majesty's got to know Ludwig's stirring up all kinds of nonsense. And my girl Meg, she's off on her own. Knowing Meg, though, she'll be just fine. Alrighty then, let's get moving.
sounds like a plan.
You two are really leaving then?
We put the people of this town in danger. We can't stay here now, knowing that. We'll have to set things straight. I have to leave, but
Why did it have to come to this? I always thought our Queen Elincia was about as good as they come, lowering taxes and looking after orphans.
The young folk don't care about that stuff. Only care about what's getting their dander up. Then they ignore everything else. I reckon that's why we gotta do what we gotta do. If we don't step up, the whole country will be going on the compost heap.
that's why we've got to get to the Queen Elincia right away. It's all going to be just fine. If I know Her Majesty, she'll take care of this uprising in no time. Then we can return to our farms and grow some mighty good eats. All of you just hold tight now.
Pretty good level up. Friendly army fought, turn bonus, clear bonus. I wonder if you get experience points for saving the rebels. But poor them.
In a rural Crimean town, a band of rebels sow the seeds of discontent. They are stopped by Brom and Nephenee, two former Crimean soldiers. However, more uprisings are sure to follow. Brom and Nephenee decide to travel to Melior, the capital of Crimea, and inform Queen Elincia as to the gravity of the situation.
Chapter 2, Tides of Intrigue. Castle Crimea.
I see. So that's what's going on. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. I'm very sorry your village was affected by this. You have my sincere apologies.
Oh no, Your Majesty. We don't need no apology. We're just happy we could help.
Lucia, Brom's story confirms what we've suspected all along.
Yes, as we thought, Duke Ludwig of Felleray is firing up a rebellion. We should have seen it coming. To be honest, Queen Elincia, there have been a number of indications that something like this was underway. We'd hoped to uncover something more tangible than hushed rumors. I should have told you sooner. No, I bear some responsibility as well. The discontent among the populace is due to my lack of experience as a ruler. Now that a rebellion is gaining momentum, innocent blood will surely be spilled. I have always held the well-being of the Crimean people as my highest priority. I've done my utmost in Crimea's name, and all I've ever desired is a country where war and hunger are unknown.
Begging your pardon, Queen Elincia.
Yes, Brom?
Your Majesty is doing a bang-up job of it. This country's a safe place to live, and that's more than most can say. Once you got the hang of things, I'm sure you'll be the name future kings and queens try to live up to. We know you can do it.
And it ain't like all the young bucks out there got bees in their bonnets. There's a whole mess of folk doing their darndest to make this a fine country. They want to make you proud, Your Majesty. I thank you.
All nations experience unrest when the reins of leadership change hands. It's true the world over. But for Ludwig to start beating the drums of war as if this were unheard of, what utter nonsense. We must not allow it. Your Majesty, would you be so kind as to appoint me to the task of his capture? I myself will march into Fellery and seize Ludwig and his rebels.
No, Geoffrey, we can't do that. Unfortunately, we don't have enough evidence to arrest him.
But...
Don't worry, brother. If we have no evidence, then I suppose we'll have to dig some up. Your Majesty, I'd like to take on that job. Lucia, I appreciate your dedication. You have my permission to proceed.
Finally, I get a base in the second part. It's going to be kind of short-lived because the second part is incredibly tiny. But it's fun, it's interesting, it's enjoyable. I appreciate it. I like the story nods that are going here, there, and everywhere, and where everything in Tellius is going. My problem with Tellius' story, besides the little notes here and there of silly things that just don't look like, sound like, feel like, or act like romanticized medieval Europe, is stuff that happens pretty much post the end of Part 3. Not real big on the fantastical story that Radiant Dawn went with. But this game still does offer something different than other games, and I do have to appreciate that. I do have to appreciate the fact that this game isn't just another sorcerer in the wings and some fell dragon and blah blah blah. It does go differently. And with that being said, I think this is a perfect time to cut this episode short. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.